let's do this problem. So given the probability distribution, part A, show that this is a probability distribution. So this one's actually very simple. All you got to do is make sure that the probabilities add up to 1. So we know that for sure 0.2 plus 0.8, this is equal to 1. So therefore, it is a probability distribution. So part B is a little harder. It's a little more in difficulty because you're not given any steps. You want to find the standard deviation of 4x plus 10. Now, in order for me to find the standard deviation of 4x plus 10, I need to figure out what the variance is, because I know that the standard deviation is just the variance of 4x plus 10. So before I even start that, I need to figure out what this is. Okay, so I don't know quite what that is. So let's try to figure this out. Okay, so let's first find what the variance of 4x plus 10 is. Well, this is just going to be taking the 4 out, so that's going to be squaring it, 4 squared variance of x. And I know that this thing is going to go away because that's just a number. Well, I don't really know what the variance of x is. I'm not quite sure what that is. So let's figure out that thing. So that's another thing that I don't know. So let's do that. So we feel like we're in a loop. So now let's figure out what the variance of x is. So we know that the variance of x is going to be equal to the sum of x squared times p of x minus mu squared. Okay, so x squared is just going to be taking all my x's and squaring them. So the first one's going to be -1, and then the other one's going to be 4. Okay, and I'm going to square both of them. Square. And I'm going to multiply this by the probability. So the probabilities in this case, this one's going to be 0.2. This is going to be 0.8. Okay, then I'm going to subtract it by mu squared. Well, it doesn't seem like I know what mu squared is, but I can try to figure that out. Okay, so let me see. So mu is just the expected value of x. And this expected value is just the sum of x times p of x. Well, x's are, well, the first one's just -1, multiply it by its probability, plus 4, multiply that by its probability. Okay, this is going to be -0.2 plus 3.2. Let me put it like that. Okay, so we're going to have -0.2. I'm going to add that to 3.2, and what I'm going to get is 3. So mu is equal to 3. So let me go ahead and plug that back in there. All right, so this is going to be -1 squared times 0.2 plus 4 squared, which is 16, times 0.8 minus mu, which was 3, which is what we just found out. And I'm going to square that. So I'm going to put all of that into my calculator. Now notice -1 squared is just going to be equal to 1. Okay, so this is going to be 0.2 plus 16 times 0.8. Okay, so 16 times 0.8 is going to be 12.8. 3 squared is going to give me 9. Okay, so I'm going to take 0.2, add that to 12.8 minus 9. And what that's going to give me, that's going to give me 4. Okay, so I got a variance of 4. So just double check with me that that's actually the answer. Okay, so that was the variance of x. So this 4 is just the variance of x. Okay, so now that I have this, let me go back. I can put that in there. Well, here I have 4 squared, which was 16. Now I know what the variance of x is. That's just equal to 4. So I'm going to take 16 times 4. All right, and that's going to give me 64. Okay. Now we don't want variance. We don't want 64 because that just gave me the variance of 4x minus 10. So I'm going to go back now. And all I got to do to find the standard deviation of this is just take the square root of 64. Square root of 64 is just going to be 8. So my answer to this is my final answer. So this one was a lot more convoluted because there was a lot more steps that I needed. So when I started off with the standard deviation. Noted I needed to figure out what the variance. So I did the variance. Now I need to find the variance of x. Did the variance of x, I need to find expected value. And now when I did, I plugged everything back in a back substitution. All right, so this problem was very, very similar to your last problem in your worksheet. So now hopefully this should help answer that type of problem. Okay.